everybody, welcome back to another episode of Speech Check. I am Sam.
And I'm Matt.
And this is episode 8.
And today we are talking about Warcraft 3 Reforged, Microsoft's bug bounty, and tutorials. How do you make them the best they can be? But before we talk about any of that, Sam, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? We've actually been playing together. So we went to our first Smash Ultimate tournament, didn't we?
We did. We did all right.
Merry old Cardiff.
Yeah.
And it was fun. We entered into the doubles because it was free.
Yeah.
We were still going to enter anyway, but that was just a nice bonus.
Yeah, the fact that we didn't have to pay anything was decent.
I mean, it was only, what, £2? Something like that? But still.
Yeah, it was only two. Yeah.
If you haven't got to pay,
Yeah.
We won a first game and then... I can't remember what we came in the doubles.
We won our first, lost our second, won our third, then lost. Done. It was like two losses and you were out.
Yeah. If you lose, once you've had 2 losses, that's it. Yeah. Because you drop into losers and then drop out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. It was good. That was my first taste ever of like competitive gaming. I feel like I'm decent at Smash, but I knew that was stepping up to the next level. I felt like I held my own, so I came 7th out of 14. You came
7th and I came 9th.
Yeah, I got some good wins. I lost to a player that was better than me, and that was absolutely fine.
Yeah, and we got invited to the Discord and stuff, and they said that we should come every week. So
yeah, they were all really sound.
Yeah, they're good guys.
You know, the more people play and the more people come to those events, the better. So I'm definitely going to look into playing more in Bristol because that's where I live, and you do not live there.
I don't. I live in Cardiff.
In Cardiff. So yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that more. But yeah, it was really fun. So I would recommend anyone that does want to get into competitive gaming of any kind, have a look into your local scene. You can generally find stuff. When you start digging, there's actually loads of stuff.
Yeah. Like for Smash in Cardiff, there's 2 places that do weeklies. I think 1 or 2 places that do monthlies, and then they have like more throughout the year, like organized tournaments. There's there's good. A lot. Would you lift that little blanket? There's a lot going on.
So yeah, if you're into competitive anyway, especially fighting games, but it's going to apply to. You can probably find a competitive community for most games.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. In my actual gaming, I played more of Destroy All Humans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Remember mentioning that, yeah.
You're making sense of the acronym I've written down now, aren't you?
Well, in pink we've got DA ! Potoff.
Can you remember what the Potoff?
Destroy All Humans, Path of the Furon?
Oh, he's got it.
Path of the Furon, is it?
That's the one, yeah.
I thought the Furons were from Chronicles of Riddick. Isn't he a Furon?
I don't know Riddick enough.
Okay, well, fair enough. I'll stop.
I'll believe you.
Stop derailing you.
Yeah, it's good. I'm just trying to play through it. It's just like a generic open world game with tone and humor. I said about it before. I've not really played that much because it's been technically not great. It's crashed on me like 4 or 5 times.
Is it
like it's just frozen?
Digital.
Yeah. So from the marketplace. I don't know if you can. I say you can probably get it from someone somewhere, but it's quite hard to get it.
Okay.
So I'm playing that as well. It's all right. It's just okay. It's just a bit of a generic open world game.
I remember the first one being fun, but I played it when I was like 16.
Yeah, I'm sure if it's a game that you went back and played now, remembering it was good, you'd be like, oh, I used to like this, and now I do not. But I don't have that experience, so I may be a bit harsher on it than someone who did play it originally.
Coming into it like fresh as an adult, you mean?
Yeah, you like expect more. So that was that. And I started Red Dead Online, which, is pretty much, as much as it is just the online component to Red Dead Redemption 2, it is basically enough to stand out as like its own game, basically.
Okay.
It has like an online story.
Okay.
So GTA had it where you could do like story missions, or you can do like contextual missions within the game. You can do like PvE stuff with other players. But it was more GTA centered around like the things you do rather than who you are, whereas Red Dead is more like it tries to flesh out your character more. Like the story's more properly instilled, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So there's like an online story component that you can do with other players, basically.
That's cool. That's nice.
It was good. I don't like the microtransaction system they've got going on. Because you can earn gold nuggets, and then 100 of those add up to gold bars. And like, I'll tell you one thing that pissed me off. You get 2 like unlock chips.
Yeah.
And you can kind of pick a role. You can pick a way to earn money, which you could do on GTA, but because it's the Wild West, you can be a moonshiner, a bounty hunter, a collector, or a trader.
Okay.
I went for bounty hunter because they did a promo where I got a free license. You have to pay up front to unlock one of those licenses, which I don't agree with immediately.
Okay. Is it expensive or?
When you're first starting out, you could probably do. I didn't play that much PvP because I'm not really there to do that kind of thing. But you could probably earn it from a solid few hours of PvP. But it's 200 in-game dollars, which say you loot an enemy body, you probably get 10 cents.
Wow.
So they really, I think coming from single player as well, you earn money a lot. For, like I've got $4,000 I think in single player, and that's not really that much. But I've bought everything that I kind of need to buy.
Yeah.
But like to set up a posse, so like a crew, group, whatever. That's $200. A gun is like the first shotgun I think I unlocked. That's about $250.
Okay.
So it's like you can only kind of make one purchase per couple of hours.
Per like play session, I guess.
Yeah.
One purchase in mind, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with the token thing that annoyed me is that you get, say, unique item of clothing or whatever. It's like, you've got Bounty Hunter, rank 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you've unlocked these special boots, whatever, or custom boots.
Awesome special boots.
Yeah, that make you look more booty.
We all like the booty.
And you can spend a chip to unlock those. And it said in the corner, retail like $500. And I was like, oh, so I'm getting around that. I'm locking it. But no, you unlock the chance to buy it.
Oh.
And I thought that was bullshit. I was really annoyed when I found that out.
That seems like a pretty rough economy. Like
it doesn't explain that either when you're doing it.
No.
Because you're like, okay, so I went to like check my wardrobe to put my new boots on. And they were like, we haven't bought them. What are you doing?
Yeah, you just have the opportunity to purchase the boots now.
Yeah.
They're not yours.
So wasn't happy with that. It's still really good. I'll be playing it a lot more. I'm trying to get my friends into it as well, but I deliberately waited ages to do the online because I was there for like the GTA Online inception, and that was just a mess. Like on 360.
I played that.
Yeah, we played that, didn't we?
Yeah, it was poor. Yeah, really, really poor.
Like just loading into a game was almost impossible.
You couldn't really do anything with anyone. Like at the start, it would just you'd crash out. Any kind of event you tried to do, you crash out. I remember trying to do a race with you, and it took about an hour just to get into the same race. Yeah. But
that was fun because that was the rally race where I can see the checkpoints and you can't.
Oh yeah, so that must have been horrifying for you.
Yeah, over an Xbox Live party chat.
Yeah.
That's not a fun thing to do. But yeah, that is what I've been playing. Matt, from the looks of it, you haven't been playing anything, but you're going to talk about something else.
My notes are sparse in this one. So I've not played anything new since the last time we spoke. So Hades and Blasphemous were the last things that we spoke about. And Hades is kind of one of those games you just go back to and go back to and go back to. So I've got another 10 hours into that, but nothing really new to say about it. So I thought instead I'd say something else that I did play, which was a university project. We're on to our next module, and we are all making games for prototyping and playtesting. So we're making these short form prototypes and then sharing them amongst the class and the wider gaming network of Cardiff if you can access it. Yeah. And we're just getting feedback, iterating on our games that we're making.
Oh, so your like fellow students and stuff, they can offer feedback on what you're making as well. It's not just like your course lead.
Oh no, yes, it's the masters kind of, because I don't know, it gets a little bit less structured in the masters. So when I turn up,
more freeform.
Yeah, I could turn up for lectures, but really I sit in a room and the course leader is also there, and I talk him through my ideas, and he kind of riffs with me on what we're doing. It isn't like we all sit in silence and we listen to them talk. Not like a traditional.
It's a bit more of like a creative space.
Yeah, which is good for learning about games and game enterprise and game development.
Yeah.
But I played a horde shooter where you shoot robots that are trying to destroy your house in the desert. And I provided the team that made it just some feedback on it, and they were really appreciative. And they've taken it on, and they're going ahead with that.
Did you like it? Were you positive, negative, a mix?
I tried to. Well, it's weird, right? Like if I was talking about a game I'd paid to play, I'd have a completely different mindset.
Yeah.
But this game is more.
I guess you're aware of what stage it's in, right? So it's
I can't really be
you're more lenient to it. You're not like I've lost money to play this. It's not that you're going into it with a different mindset.
Yeah, it's a completely different mindset. So I'm playing it to not analyze it, but to try and think about how it can be the best that it can be.
Yeah.
Not to look at it for the value that it brings to my play experience yet. So I'll play it and be like, oh, if you like, I didn't know what I was doing at first. Like, they don't have any indicator as to what you do when you drop into game. So I don't know whether I'm not supposed to die, I'm supposed to protect something, or like what the environment is really. So, but I didn't go in thinking, God, this is fucking shit. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, okay, you could change this in that way. Or so it's kind of fun to play a game that's in an incredibly early stage of development and appreciate it for what it is at that creative time. You know, not when it's end game. But yeah, I have kind of precious little to say on this one this week. I've been trying to make my own card game, which is going okay. I'm still in the concepting phase because card games are really hard if you're not making like a social party game, making like a card game with mechanics.
Shit. Or to make basic or very vanilla. So to make one that's doing something different, which I think is what you are doing.
I'm trying to. I think it's easy to make social party card games. Like Cards Against Humanity.
Exploding Kittens.
So a few guys, like, I don't know, maybe overall like 20 hours on the internet looking up memes and then just like taking the worst of them and putting them on cards. You know what I mean? There's not much systemic design.
Yeah, or like original content there. They've just had the right idea.
Yeah. Like you just find some...
And made an insane amount of money on it.
Yeah. Browse Reddit and 4chan for a little bit and slap them on cards.
There's your game.
But yeah, if you're making like a serious game that has interlocking systems and mechanics, it takes a long time to work out where the fun is, you know? But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing with my time the last week. Not really much playing, but thinking about play.
So that's what we've been playing. But Matt, what has been released?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, because this is traditionally where I talk about releases, so it's convenient.
It fits in so well. It's like it's been pre-planned.
The first game, that's what I'm talking about. The first game I'm going to talk about is Zombie Army 4 Dead War from Rebellion, coming at us the 4th of February 2020. This is an online 4-player co-op gauntlet shooter, not unlike Left 4 Dead. Familiar to people who have played that, and indeed Nazi Zombies, because it does have a horde mode. It is a Nazi shooter set in an over-the-top alternate reality post-World War II where zombie Hitler is resurrecting his army of the undead from hell.
I'm interested to see what you've got to say about this, because I played and 1,000 good Zombie Army 3.
Oh, you thousand it.
Yeah.
Woo.
It wasn't fun.
That perfect score. Was it fun to play casually at first?
Yes. I didn't... Annoyingly, my friends had it, but I didn't actually get to play that much with them. But it's definitely, like every game, it's improved when you play with your friends. Mm-hmm. But continue.
Yeah, so it keeps the mechanics from the Sniper Elite series, which is where the Zombie Army series comes from. It was initially an offshoot of that. So you've got tight third-person shooting. They still have really in-depth scope mechanics, but they've ditched all of the stealth mechanics in favor of specialized melee kills, which refill your health. It has a varied and over-the-top story and setting. I've heard it's goofy in a good way. You know, like I said about zombie Hitler raising an army of undead.
It's got like B-movie vibes.
Yeah, it's kind of like dumb B-movie stuff.
Trilogy was, yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of place for a game. It can be taken seriously, and it can be difficult at times, but it seems like the place it wants to inhabit is kind of like a casual friend co-op. You go and play the game every day with your mates kind of thing. They also have a time-released mission, system, kind of like Destiny, where once a week and once a month they'll give you like a new variation on a mission you might have already completed. So you can go back, play it again, get different rewards.
Kind of like mutations on Left 4 Dead.
Yeah,
there's like one certain modifier or something. Yeah.
Yeah, they consistently update it, so it's a live service right now. It's not like they've just released the game and it's there. A couple of things that they've borrowed, and actually something I wanted to talk about a little bit in depth on this, is I mentioned kind of briefly the execution kills granting health back.
Yeah.
I feel that we've gone through a kind of like renaissance in our history of gaming of health and health mechanics in shooter games. Like we started off with, if you think about classic Medal of Honor, like PS2 era Medal of Honor, it was med packs. Like you had health packs in the environment and stuff. Then you moved to jam on the screen, rebounding health, and that was huge for a long time. Like that's been a staple. It's just rebounding health bars.
That would have been what, I guess, the generation after us. That's all they've kind of known.
Yeah,
like
I think
med pack wouldn't have been a word that they would have been familiar with at all.
No, it's quite a novel thing for people who have come from, I think, Modern Warfare 2. I think that's where it started, around that Gears of War 1 and Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, around what was that, 2006, 7?
I want to say around that time, yeah.
Yeah, like late 2000s.
And now we've come to what I'm going to call the Doom 2016 period, after we had the glory kills, which I know there's med packs in Doom, but glory kills that give med packs. We've now had a lot more games that are having that kind of reward for offensive play. So you have Bloodborne as well.
That's where if you get hit, is it kill the enemy or just strike within a certain amount of time, you only lose a fraction of that health?
Yeah, so you have like your health bar has I don't know how to describe it really.
Kind of hollowed out.
Yeah, and you can regain that by attacking.
Yeah.
So you have to attack to get health back. So we've got games that are encouraging a more offensive play style, and we're moving away from like a cover shootery, hide for a bit sort of deal. I thought it was interesting that this game is also employing it. Just a little aside, it is not a full-priced AAA release, and it is only available on the Epic Game Store.
Oh, okay.
Which could be contentious.
Yeah.
Some people don't like the Epic Game Store for 10-cent reasons.
People have views, yeah, and I respect where they come from. I'm not a PC gamer, so it doesn't affect me as much, but I definitely get, if you're annoyed at that, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the Epic Game Store. It wouldn't stop me buying it. And I am kind of considering it. I would prefer it if it was on Steam, just because Steam is where all of my games are. It's where my repository of games is, but, I'd buy it from there. You have your standard leveling up ability stuff. You've got ranks. Your guns have ranks. That's all like standard third-person fare by now. If I said there was a AAA game that was a third-person shooter that didn't have some kind of tacked-on skill tree, you would think I was mental. Another cool thing they do actually is if you die in game and like all the way, so you're not going to get revived. You come back as a zombie as your character avatar, and you can't be rezzed until they've killed your zombie. I thought that was kind of like it's small. It's like a small touch, but I thought it was a kind of a neat little thing that they've.
I think it's a lot of to diversify yourself and make yourself stand out from other shooters like that.
Yeah, doing
little things or a lot of little things like that, it is what is going to separate you from them.
Yeah,
so that's just a cool little nod. Well done, Rebellion.
It's awash with personality like that, like little touches, sound effects here and there. It's just got its own feel and its own personality, its own identity. I say for anyone who's looking for a co-op experience that scratches that Left 4 Dead itch, and you just want to get some satisfaction, you shoot zombies, get a big score, get a big combo meter up, and then slash your head off with a machete. Like you just go nuts. It's super gory as well. They've got the Sniper Elite X-ray kills, but because they're zombies, like their stomach's all full of pus and stuff, and it's like all yellow jetting out. And when you hit them in the head, it like unpeels like a banana.
That's cool.
It looks awesome, but it's like hyper gory. It looks cool.
One thing I'll say is that for me at least got old quite quickly, and then it gets to the point where you're just skipping past it.
Yeah,
you get your slow mo kill, and because you can just hit, or you could just hit A to immediately just go back to normal. And if you're killing hundreds of zombies in a mission,
I guess it's kind of differently balanced to the main game because you're so rarely sniping at a range that would give you that. There's a lot more of a focus on like medium to close range combat. But you still do get them every now and then. You'll get like a zombie on a turret, or you get zombie snipers as well. So they
were assholes.
Enemy snipers in Sniper Elite.
Yeah, because on the hardest setting, it was like if you were out in the open, because they like jump from rooftop to rooftop.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, like or if there was times where you'd have two, and you could just walk out in the open, and they could just aimbot you and kill you.
That's
not fun.
Nah, aimbot from across the map is not what you want.
And one thing, sorry to completely, I don't want to steal this segment, but just
we're talking Sniper Elite. Let's do it.
Whilst it's in my memory, where I remember Trilogy falling down, so the game before, was that it was so geared towards co-op play that a lot of the like mini bosses you come up against, they were skewed towards like one player being a distraction and the other player shooting it. So when you play that by yourself, you just have like a slow moving boss with an MG. You just have to hit in the head like 10 times. Yeah. And when you've got to do that yourself, whilst avoiding all the other like popcorn enemies, it can just kind of it got a bit
much.
Know? Yeah.
From what I've seen, it is entirely playable solo. Like you can go through it by yourself, and it's a decent experience. It's better with friends, and it's meant for co-op play, but you can play it by yourself and have a good time.
Like it wasn't impossible, but there'd be like there's a chainsaw dude that kind of he moves quicker, and he's just like he's got two chainsaws and he's just like flailing them at you. Yeah. But he wears a welding mask.
Oh, okay.
And you can only shoot him in the back of the head, and he has like perfect tracking. You can't like get around him to shoot him in the back of the head.
So you couldn't like lose him and sneak up on him.
No, you have to like use explosives or risk getting in close, hitting him with your other weapons, which you don't really have a lot of ammo for. So it was a bit.
Okay. Well, it sounds from your reporting on that, it sounds like they've fixed some of those issues for this game, and it's a bit more playable by yourself and not so focused on range play, and you wouldn't hopefully get sick of the X-ray kills and that kind of stuff. I'm
not going to detract how cool they were, because they are cool. And like, the level of detail they've gone down into, because it's not just, let's say, it's not just headshots. You could do, because I had Sniper Elite 3 as well, and you could do testicle shots.
I've seen, you can like go through someone's thighs from the side and then burst both their testicles.
Yeah, and which is completely ruin their day.
That's a bad time.
Not like just, even though you're like, I don't know, 200 meters away, just hearing a silent like. The silent scream of terror from that soldier.
Do you reckon Zombie Hitler gives the day off when the zombie comes to him? It's like, mate,
I would hope so. I mean, like, look,
burst them both in one shot. Come on.
I'm like, Zeke Heil, but I
I understand when
when a man loses his nuts, we're all men here. We're all zombie men.
We're all zombies here. All right, just sleep it off or something. Or do zombies sleep?
Undead it off.
Yeah, just undead it off. So yeah, Zombie Army 4, I'd say. Oh, you know what I haven't mentioned yet? Microtransactions. Because again, a shooter in 2020, of course, is going to have microtransactions.
Can't leave that out.
They're there. They're shown on the homepage as you go into the game. Is it that bad? Not really. They paywall some costumes and weapons off, and some characters, but the game is entirely playable, beginning to end, without any microtransactions. But
that's fine then.
It's annoying that it's even present because it's so superfluous.
It has no place. Yeah.
Yeah, just have it behind an unlock wall. When you complete the game, you get the new gun. When you complete with this character, you get another character. It's not hard to do. Like, it doesn't have to always be paywalled. Please stop the paywalls. Okay, moving on. We're going to talk about Warcraft 3 Reforged, coming at us from Blizzard the 28th of January 2020. This was a weird one for me, right? Because I didn't play Warcraft 3. I'm not a huge Warcraft guy. I have played World of Warcraft a little bit. Nothing crazy, like 20 hours or so, which is absolutely not even a drop in the ocean for Warcraft.
Them's noob numbers.
Yeah, man, it's like that's nothing. And when I was first looking at this, I was like, what's wrong with it? Like, you've got it's classic Warcraft 3 with all of the DLCs, everything included in it. They've updated the graphics, and it's as it was on the surface, on the surface of it. So I was like, why is this getting so much hate? It's currently got a 0.5 out of 10 on Metacritic user score, and it's a 60% critic score out of 100. So it's averagely reviewed, and fans absolutely hate it. And I've realized it's because they've neutered all of the community mechanics. That's the thing that they've taken away from Warcraft. So fans were expecting to be able to make their own campaigns. Apparently that was a huge thing in Warcraft 3. You could manipulate the maps. They had like a map editor, and then you could make your own missions within those maps. So you had people borrowing assets from Lord of the Rings games and making like the Battle of Helm's Deep, and you could play through it and stuff. You know what I mean? They went really into it with the fan content, and they've taken all that functionality out. The map editor is still there, and it's better, but they've added an EULA clause that says anything you make in a map editor belongs to Blizzard.
Oh, dude.
And I think
why
it's a hangover from Dota, because Dota was made in Warcraft 3, I believe. Like, someone correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I think it was made in Warcraft 3 and then developed on. But they won't defend themselves against that. The game itself it's exactly as Warcraft 3 was. So all the missions are the same. The characters are the same. It's a retelling of the story. Another thing that got the fans mad was they skimped on the cutscene revamping. So they said there was going to be 4 hours of brand new cutscenes, and I've heard some figures that say there's only 4 minutes. Whether that's hyperbole or not, I don't know. But I think there was a flexible term of what is a cutscene. So people were expecting,
one of those,
like Blizzard cutscenes, like Overwatch got a ton of amazing like mini, I don't know,
cinematics.
Trailers. Yeah. There's like cinematic trailers they release. They're expecting that kind of level for Warcraft 3 Reforged, and they did some of that for promo events and I think E3, BlizzCon. They showed some stuff.
It's almost like that's all the things that would make you buy the game, thinking it would be in there.
So they released all this before the pre-orders went out. So they said all this stuff about the cutscenes. They showed this amazing cutscene from an iconic moment in Warcraft history. And then once the pre-orders were in, they slowly started to just like trickle it back in. Just
it's not going to be all cutscenes, or
it's going to be most.
Some, none. There is a number, and that number is 0.
Yeah, it became more like that. So instead of a cutscene as you'd expect, you would get the in-game RTS camera, and then talking heads with text boxes, and that was what they called a cutscene. So fans didn't like that either. Apparently there's some functionality issues with menus and the functionality of the menus. So the menus lag, and they also don't work as intended, so you can't always sort properly when you're looking for servers to play. I think if you have never played Warcraft before, if you don't even know what Warcraft 3 is, but you like RTSs, you could get along with this. If you know anything about Warcraft 3, you already know you don't want to touch this with a 10-foot barge pole.
So I'm not an RTS person at all. Not played 2 minutes of Warcraft. But I feel like if I was an RTS guy, I'd already know about this. This would already be on my radar, and I would have already played it.
This is high profile.
Yeah. So, yeah, I get what you're saying, but they're probably not garnering any new fans. It's just, this is fan service to the, and not to people that were there from the beginning, right? You think
it was intended.
Yeah, that's what they were aiming for. But whether that was achieved, apparently not.
And after all of that, so you've got the stripping out of the community functions. You've got the lack of delivery on the cutscenes. You've got the fact they didn't change any of the in-game functionality, and we're talking about a game that's like 20 years old now, 25 years old,
around that.
So it's dated. It is dated now, and you should have updated some of the mechanics. They haven't. It's all the same. And they forced all of this onto Warcraft 3 Classic, which was the existing Warcraft that had been played by fans. Now, when you open Warcraft 3 with Battle.net open, it will automatically connect to it, and it will give you all of the updates, air quotes, updates from Reforged. Take out all of your community tools, take out your editing tools. It will update you, air quotes, to Reforged. So there are some people just like playing the old version of the game. You know what I mean?
That really irks me when it's like, look, if people just want to run on an old game or an old, like, software's a nightmare for it. Like, if you want to run on an old OS, fair enough. But eventually you're going to have to move up, and people kind of accept that. But when it's something like this, why are you trying to drive like that wedge into your community? I don't get it.
I don't know whether it's the license agreement they wanted to get in there in case people are still making content. They want to own that, or whether they just want to make, like, they want to galvanize the audience so you don't have classic fans and Reforged fans. Not that you're going to have any Reforged fans, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, you're not going to have any, so well done.
And I feel like this came up not too long ago with World of Warcraft Classic. So they have a classic server that where people were playing unupdated World of Warcraft because they didn't like the stuff that was added new, and then they were talking about closing it down, and there was a huge community outcry where they're like, no, we like playing on this, please don't do this. I can't remember the outcome of it, but why, knowing what your fans are like, they love nostalgia, right? Why are you retroactively doing these kind of things? Don't take away what the fans are already engaged with and enjoying.
You're shooting yourself in the foot.
I think it's intrusive stakeholders and money grabbing, probably.
Like gamers as well, man. They're not a community you want to piss off, and like the moment you try and do something from a corporate business perspective, they'll call you on it immediately.
Yeah, gamers are switched on, and they know what they like, and they're not afraid to talk about it.
Yeah,
you get a loud population. I don't know how Blizzard they just keep making mistakes right now.
They've not made a right move in a while.
No, they really, really haven't. They just can't get it together. And if my cynical self is saying that it's since there was a certain takeover, since there was a certain merger, it seems like they've lost their personality, because they used to be games for gamers. Like, they are gamers who make core games, and they're just moving away from that and just trying to cream money from the audience that they have. But like Bethesda are wrecking themselves. Blizzard are wrecking themselves. EA was it EA with Anthem?
That and Battlefront 2. They're fixing it now, but that Battlefront 2 was EA. Yeah.
All the big boys
no
are
one wanted
choke
to
slamming
hate that
themselves.
Game, so
no.
There's going to be, we said about it before, there's going to be a Ragnarok.
There's got to be something. It's brewing. I feel it brewing. Something bad's coming. Or good, maybe. So, well, we're moving away from our grim predictions of the gaming future. This is going to be my new third segment for the release portion of this podcast. I'm going to do an indie spotlight, and I'm going to try and talk about a game which has either come out recently or will be coming out soon that maybe you haven't heard of, maybe it's blowing up, maybe you should check it out. And this time it is TemTem, coming at us from Crema Studios, published by The Humble Bundle, coming out the 21st of January 2020.
That was my birthday.
Way. Happy birthday, Sam.
Sorry, Humble Bundle published games? The first one they've done? Or am I just not aware of that?
They publish games, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm aware, I know what Humble Bundle is, but I didn't know didn't know they were a publisher.
I think they're doing successfully enough to start publishing. Well, apparently they are. This, when I say release, it's currently in early access on Steam, so it's not a full release yet. It is, in the most derivative sense, MMO Pokemon.
Yes.
But it does have its own identity. You do play a person from a small town. A professor says, would you like one of these 3 mystical animals that we capture and train against one another to fight a set of leaders who have more powerful versions of these animals so that you can become the very best like no one ever was?
The professor has the same name as a kind of tree or plant.
He's called, like, he has like a really Greek name. He's like Professor
Platos.
Kinstinkonos or something. Karestikos. It's a K and a Y in there. It's Greek sound. It's from a Spanish studio, I believe. Crema.
Okay.
But all of that japery aside, it's actually like a pretty core Pokemon experience. So Pokemon's quite casual, really. Like, when we talk about it,
it's definitely become that now. With
you can just blitz through Pokemon.
And,
you get. Well, I mean, even if you pick up like Red or Blue, right?
It's the same game every time with different monsters.
Exactly, and you can just play through it. This
not shitting on it, by the way. I love Pokemon.
Oh no, yeah. I'm looking at my Ultra Ball Switch Pro controller. Like, we like Pokemon here.
Red, Blue, Gold, Silver, Ruby, Sapphire. I didn't get any further than that, but the The first 3 gens, there's probably good ones after that, but I went by that point.
That's fair. Leaf Green and Emerald were my two. They were my two big boys.
Oh, I've played Danielle's played Fire Red.
Okay.
It's just,
It's classic updated.
Yeah.
I've had so much fun with Leaf Green. But yeah, instead of balls, you trap them in like playing cards. Arbitrary change. And all the battles are 2v2. So you constantly have 2 creatures on the field. I forget the name. You have a stamina system instead of PP. So moves take different amounts of stamina. So you're monitoring your ability to fight in a slightly different way. So it has a bit of a different interaction. And it's hard, apparently. It's actually quite hard. You can't just blitz through by power leveling. Like when you have to go from one area to the next, the trainers on the way will kick your ass and like send you back if you don't train properly. And you have to manage your your in combat items. So you've got to know when to use your potions, when to use your stamina ups, when to use status effects removers. You've got to be on that stuff, which I think is quite cool, because I always found in Pokemon I'd end up with 99 times potions, and if I had to use a potion in a fight, I'd lost. I felt like I had lost. Like I never used anything.
Should be able to, if anything, it was like you're not going to get hit.
Yeah,
really. If you're that well prepared, you should be able to go in. You know the type that trainer, gym leader, whatever's going to use. You go in with that Pokemon first, and you just rinse them with that type of move. Yeah, I
know. If you start going backwards and forwards with hyper potions,
because that ends up being all you do.
Yeah, I know. I remember being really mad at Misty, that Staryu, when she hyper potions it. We get into Red Health. I was like, You got
to reverse engineer it, though, haven't you? I learned that the hard way, and that you have to do like, say if you did tackle, you get the 10% down, and then you do the kill move. So
there you go.
Kill move first. They're like, Misty used a super potion.
You're getting pro strats for a game from 1995 right now.
Well, Danielle's played it recently. Oh. She's played the OG one, so it's like remembering that.
That's fair enough. But yeah, that's Indie Spotlight. I'd say definitely check out TemTem, and if you don't buy it, keep your eyes on it, because they've got some of the MMO elements in at the minute, but the chat system's not really finished. The interactions aren't really there. But can you imagine an MMO Pokemon where you can just meet up with your mates, battle, travel around this big world? It's kind of cool, right?
That's what Sword and Shield kind of should have been, right? It's a bit of a bait and switch.
Yikes. Yeah. Well, we covered Sword and Shield last time, didn't we?
We did get to that, so let's not brag on them again.
How it was okay, but yeah. But yeah, let me know what you think, whether you're going to keep your eyes on TemTem, or whether you think it's one to miss and you should pick up Sword and Shield instead. Who knows?
Who does know?
But that's enough of me rambling. It's time to look to Sam for some enlightenment. Sam, what has been going on in gaming news?
What has been going on? We're going to start with Nugget 1, like we always do.
Okay. Start at the start.
So, numero 10, Blizzard has cancelled the Overwatch League due to the coronavirus. Now, this isn't the complete Overwatch League, but this is obviously within China and like the surrounding areas. So, as you may know, Matt, there's like a mini plague happening at the moment that it's causing like global panic.
It's an epidemic event, I think, is a polite way to describe it.
While we're here, you might know.
Okay.
Epidemic. Pandemic.
I believe a pandemic is worse. So I think they're to do with infection rates.
Okay.
So a pandemic is across multiple continents, and an epidemic is multiple countries.
I believe you.
That might not be true.
It makes sense. That's a logical argument, and I would believe you, and I shall believe you.
For now, let's do it.
So if you know what a pandemic is, versus if you've ever been in a pandemic, and if you have the coronavirus, let us know in the comments.
Oh God, is it too soon for jokes like that? What do they say? Comedy is the lens through which to view life, right?
They say comedy is tragedy plus time. That's what I've heard.
Oh, okay, I like that one. Let's move from an adage to what you were actually talking about and stop insulting sick people.
Yeah, okay, sorry. It's not bad if you have it, by the way. I'm just saying, if you have it, let us know. Interact. Audience engagement. But yeah, Blizzard have cancelled all the Overwatch League matches in China for the next 2 months. So I believe until the end of March.
That makes sense.
Yeah. They've released a Twitter statement. They said, quotes, "We have decided to cancel our February and March matches in China in order to protect the health and safety of our players, fans, and staff. We hope fans have a safe and happy Lunar New Year," which I imagine is gone now because it's a couple of weeks ago. "We remain incredibly excited to play Overwatch League matches in China later this season. We'll share more information about when and where the matches will take place at a later date. Thank you for your support and understanding." Which, fair enough. As much as we were ragging on Blizzard and those kind of stuff, they've at least done a good thing here and thought about the welfare of their players.
Well, it is also not allowed, but public events aren't allowed in China right now.
Yeah, so
they couldn't do it
It's not
anyway.
to the state of martial law, but it's bad.
Well,
I mean, China's probably always in a state of martial law to some degree, anyway, right?
Well, it's communism, isn't it? Close enough.
Like, I think they have a laugh limit per day, like 5 laughs per person a day.
Have we broken it? Are we going to get banned in China? Wait, they don't have YouTube in China.
Yeah, it's fine. The Overwatch teams have moved to South Korea as like a precaution as well.
Okay.
So they're doing, they're not just saying we're not going to have any matches. They are doing a little bit more than that would be. I've also put the, talk about the impact the virus has had. Talk about our own experiences with viruses like bird flu. Matt, did you have
Have I contracted bird flu in my life?
No, because we say lived through it. It wasn't like World War II, but that
we were alive when bird flu happened.
Was like
SARS,
a thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Was that SARS?
No, that was different, right?
No, SARS was another one. We had bird flu and SARS.
We were just told to keep our playground clean because I was in like year 10.
I don't even remember it. Not gonna lie to you.
Danielle was it Tamiflu? She calls it Tamiflu. I don't know what that is.
Tamiflu?
Yeah.
Where is she from?
I don't know if she still has it.
Is she from the past?
Oh, ye was a yonder year when we had the Tamiflu.
We had the Tamiflu.
Yeah, I don't really know, but yeah, was it bird flu and swine flu?
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if
SARS was swine flu.
That was okay.
I think.
And yeah, we were just told to keep our playground clean.
Okay.
That was it. And they were like, this, that keeps the seagulls away.
Oh. I honestly, mate, I have no recollection of it.
No.
None at all. Didn't affect my life.
She had a week off school and got like face masks. They went full, like.
Really?
Yeah.
I lived in Bristol all my life.
Yeah, like we were just like the other side of town.
Yeah.
Like I was in South Bristol and she was in North Bristol.
I have no idea what.
Like was the line that.
That was where bird flu started there.
Yeah.
Like a
it was
militarized gate through the town.
Yeah, it was like the Berlin Wall.
Yeah. The Berlin Wall.
Oh, there's some up there.
Move on. That was a terrible joke.
Yeah, do you know what? We're not going to edit that one out. Join the Patreon for more puns like that. But yeah, that was my nug. That at least Blizzard have done a nice thing for their things, even though they were probably mandatory had to. They've at least helped out.
They've done a nice state mandated thing.
Yeah,
good job,
well,
Blizzard.
we don't give them much, so I'll give them that. Nugget number 2, Nintendo. They're out again. They've sued somebody because they've used one of their IPs.
Come on, Ninty.
So they've actually, this has been done and dusted now. They actually won a court case in Japan against, I don't know what the exact thing of the case is for, but this company was using Nintendo IP, or in breach of its IP.
Okay.
So it was a go-karting company, and it was called Mari Mobility, if I'm reading that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And they were awarded £350,000, which equates to, I think I've put pounds again,
million.
but I obviously couldn't find yen. So, and that's roughly 70 million yen, which sounds insane, but when you put it in context of, I wouldn't sneeze it at 350 grand.
Yeah, like that is a lot for a smallish. I imagine it was a smallish business. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
I know I've lied. I haven't done that because they were in. So Nintendo won the case, and then they appealed, and that's how much they then lost. They were only going to lose 70 grand, and then by appealing and losing, it was done up, which is pretty crummy. But Mari Mobility was found guilty of infringing on Nintendo's intellectual property. The go-karting company's original name resembled Mario Kart 2 closely, and I guess when you came to use the service, they gave out like a red plumber costume and a green plumber costume. So they were
Okay.
kind of taking liberties a little bit. So in that kind of sense, I can see where you're coming from. I don't know. I haven't seen any photos, so I don't know how detailed it was. I don't know how far they were going.
Yeah.
It's like if they had like a Toad costume or a Yoshi costume or whatever. Or if you've got an
I
M
feel
on,
it's like-
a red hat with an M on.
But it's raising, not that Nintendo needs more brand awareness, but there's free advertising, right? It's free
In a way,
advertising.
but like they're historically really bad. But I get what you're saying. For many companies, just kind of be okay with it. Be like, well, we're not affiliated with that, but if they want to use that, fair enough. That doesn't really affect us because we're one of the biggest.
Yeah, they're not,
one of the biggest gaming companies on the planet.
and they're not making Mario clones and releasing them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They're not in their sphere of competition, even narrowly.
yeah, they're not taking business away from Nintendo. That's
No.
not eating into Nintendo's go-kart business.
It's not like, oh, I was going to buy a Switch, but instead I'm going to go and do
Yeah,
Mario
it's
Mobility.
It's not tit for tat. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But now they've rebranded to Supercarts, which is arguably closer to.
Yeah.
You got just put the word Mario in there, and then you're done.
It's all over.
But now they do superhero themed stuff, so they
Okay.
generics.
So now Marvel can sue them in like 5 years' time.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Maybe that's their plan. It's like, okay, if we've been sued by Nintendo, so if we carry on this trend, we can get sued by one of the biggest movie companies.
They're collecting lawsuits from the largest companies on earth.
Yeah, that's their business model, to constantly lose money every 5 years. Yeah, it's an interesting thing as well. So, in Southmead, which is a pretty rough part of Bristol,
It's an interesting place, yeah.
there's a car wash
Okay.
that is called the Super Mario Car Wash.
Okay.
And it's got a picture of like 90s Nintendo Mario.
Mm-hmm.
It says the Super Mario Car Wash.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it. They just have that name. There's no other affiliation or Nintendo stuff. It's not like themed. You can't play games while you wait. They're literally just taking that name. They went, what is popular? Googled, and that was what came up that day.
A popular thing.
Yeah.
Mario, done.
So that's my experiences with former Nintendo IPs. I don't know if you have any cases off the top of your head, Matt, where they've been insane. I know they've shut down they used to hate emulators. I remember they went through a period of trying to say that if you showed any Nintendo game like on stream YouTube, they were like, well, that's our property because you're using our game, and any revenue you get from that is ours.
They're still harsh on revenue, I know that. Like, that's where you don't really see many Let's Plays or long plays of Nintendo games so much.
You've got to be very like kind of cautious about what you use and don't use.
And they will just take the money from it.
Yeah.
So you might see it on smaller channels where they don't rely on the revenue. But I don't think any larger channels really bother with Nintendo stuff because they know that they're opening themselves up for that.
It's probably just not worth the time and the hassle.
No, yeah, and I know they were really harsh on emulators for a while. I think they've cooled up on that now because emulators, I know their focus has kind of turned away from them and you can't really police them.
Yeah, and what seems weird is that the Switch now has kind of become not anywhere near as bad, but from what I've seen from browsing around, it's kind of like Steam Marketplace or the App Store. There's not really any regulation.
They've got a lot of different content on there now. They've certainly that Nintendo seal of approval is getting more and more flexible as years go on.
That's a bendy sticker.
It is, yeah.
If I've ever seen one.
It's not quite as bad as all the hentai on the Steam stores at the minute. Early access hentai pinball and stuff is rife.
It's quality game design. You should, stop making the card game.
Yeah.
Go after that.
Get on that. That's what what was I watching the other day? I saw a game on Steam, and one of its advertised features is that there's a button you can press that takes away all of the hentai and makes it look like Bubble Bobble or something. So if someone walks in, you can just be like, "It's not a porn game. I'm not playing porn. You're playing porn."
It's got like a boss switch.
Yeah, it's got a boss switch, so you can like turn on the porn on and off.
If that was like a joke in of itself, fine. But I feel like they're like
it's a genuine.
They're doing it so like you don't get in trouble.
Yeah, play it in your cubicle, and when your boss comes around, you can be like, "I'm not working, but playing a different game. Please don't."
Yeah, I'm still not doing my work. I'm just playing a really bland pinball game.
Yeah.
I don't know that one again. The final nugget is that there is a Mortal Kombat animated film being released this April.
Oh.
So Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge, will be released on April 12th to Blu-ray and DVD. It's basically the retelling of the story of Mortal Kombat 1.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think it's from Scorpion's perspective. I think it's just...
Okay.
So why it has that title, I don't really know.
Okay.
But, some interesting names pop up in it. Joel McHale, who you might know if you watch Community.
No.
He's a funny dude.
Okay.
He's the voice of Johnny Cage. And Jennifer Carpenter, who's in Dexter. She's Dexter's sister, and she was in something else because she's an actress, and that's how she makes money.
I've heard that's how they do that.
Yeah. She's also in it, and she's Sonya Blade.
Okay.
That's the only two names that I stumbled across that were noteworthy. Didn't know anyone else. They might be, famous voice artists within that realm, but their names didn't spring up to me.
Okay.
It's Warner Brothers Animation that's doing this one, and they've done all the kind of cool animation films that you might see. So they did Lego Batman and the Lego Movie. They did Iron Giant, which I love that film, by the way.
Okay.
That's a really good film.
Is Vin Diesel the voice of the Iron Giant?
I think he is. Yeah, I think you might be right. One of the few good things that Vin Diesel has done.
That's the only thing I know about that movie, and that is the second time Vin Diesel has come up in this podcast.
It is. He's also Groot.
He
is Groot.
Im
shall be Groot. I mean, he only had 3 words to say in a slightly different tone every time.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
there couldn't have been Guardians of the Galaxy without him. So well done. He's also Riddick. He's had some good roles. Why was he ever in Fast and the Furious?
People love Fast and Furious, man.
I feel like that's what
they
people
really
put
do.
He was also in Saving Private Ryan. He died in Saving Private Ryan. He's the guy who gets shot and then tries to hand the...
He was good in that, man.
Yeah.
Like he not to say he's not good in other stuff, but he actually acted with Tom Hanks.
He was an actor for a time.
Tom Hardy? Is Tom Hardy in that film too?
No, he's in the Pacific or Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh God, I think he has one of those scenes as well. I get that scene where he's crawling with a letter, and there's a Tom Hardy scene where he gets shot in the back or something. He's paralyzed.
Oh, he's also in Black Hole Down. Tom Hardy.
Is he?
Yeah.
I've not seen that.
I don't think he gets killed. I think he's just I think he has 4 lines as a soldier.
Yeah.
But the real stuff about the podcast, which is what we'll talk about now. They also did Space Jam. They did Osmosis Jones, another fire.
That's a great film. David Hyde Pierce.
Yeah. Chris Rock, funny. Lawrence Fishburne, he's and Bill Murray, real Bill Murray.
God,
that's the
what a cast.
Yeah, that's good. Well done. Just talking about old films that we used to like, and they've done all the the DC Universe stuff. Okay. So Batman Ninja, which I haven't seen but I've heard is really good.
It looks interesting.
Under the Red Hood, Justice League Dark, all those kind of films. So if you're into that, chances are you're going to like this film as well.
Okay. You're making me want to check it out. It's
out
time for my birthday.
I like Mortal Kombat. It's definitely not. I don't really buy Blu-rays or DVDs now, but if it was £5 to stream it for a night, I'd watch that. If I came around here and we were having some beers and stuff, we could whack that on. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll watch that.
Some of my favorites. So there's not a lot of video game centered films that I've had the experience of getting involved with. Mm-hmm. But I think there's Dead Space Downfall, which I've seen, which is really good. I'm a fan of the Dead Space series. And I think it's called Aftermath, which is an epilogue and a prologue and an epilogue. Sorry.
Okay.
It shows everything, how the Ishimura, just fell apart, how the virus got on board.
Is it a full animated film? Because I've watched an animated comic.
It's about 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a short film, but it's not a feature-length film, I'd say.
Yeah, okay.
I'd say you've got to be hitting an hour to be a feature-length film at least, and even that's a bit...
I might look that up, see if I can find it.
It's good. There's a samurai dude in it.
Okay.
That's good enough. That's
I'll watch out for him. Yep, I'm sold. That's it.
I also really like the Lego Movie. That's actually
Lego Movie was
really
good.
funny. That's as much as it seems like a kid's movie, it has adult, not explicit, but it has adult humor writing in it.
Like the old SpongeBob.
Yeah,
where it's
there's stuff in there for both. Yeah, there's a wink and a nod to the.
Or Simpsons as well. Simpsons used to have it too. Yeah.
And oddly, as much as I don't really watch any cartoons anymore, or any classic cartoons, just because it's probably a generational thing, I don't get them.
Yeah.
But Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans Go is pretty funny. It's got really kind of irreverent humor. Yeah. It's not like regular show in Adventure Time.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of level. But I've watched it and yeah, I've enjoyed. I like genuinely laughed on a few times.
You know, I
wasn't busting a gut. It's right.
I really liked the old Teen Titans when it was
The
like
old-
a more serious.
That was also good. Like, I don't know if it's the animation style as well, but it was like serious, but also not taking itself too seriously. So it was.
Yeah, you had
There
funny
was like
moments
good
in
stories, but
Yeah.
there was also it had like an anime vibe to it without the insanity of anime.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, those are my nugs. That's what
Okay.
I've had. So
Big news time.
yeah.
Oh, here it is.
So what Matt mentioned in the intro,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft has started a bug bounty program. Specifically the Xbox bounty program. It's inviting gamers, security research, and other kind of people to help identify security vulnerabilities it has within the realm of Xbox, specifically Xbox Live Network and like the services and stuff it has.
Mm-hmm.
The eligible rewards range from $500 to $20,000.
Wow.
So if you're gonna spot something that's like, hey, you could get DDoS on this, you should probably plug that hole. They'll be like, thank you very much, 20 grand.
Nice.
So if you're someone of that profession, or if that's what you do,
Yeah.
if you're a black hat in your spare time,
That's worth. That's worth doing.
do you know where the term black hat comes from?
Is it westerns?
It is because the villain would wear a black hat. Black hats and white hats.
I knew there was like a black hat is for someone who hacks unethically, and a white hat is an ethical hacker, right?
Yeah,
And then
someone that would do it professionally to say these are your security vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
You know, they are professional hackers that expose flaws like this. So if you are a white hat, feel free to get into this and make some. If you can
Make some fat
if you can get
stacks.
if you can get some vulnerabilities going, they'll pay you, man. They'll pay you good. The submissions need to meet two criteria. It's first, the reported vulnerability needs to be original, so obviously it can't be anything they've had before, and it needs to be you have to be able to reproduce it in the latest version of Xbox Live. So if you're doing it on a downgrade, then obviously it could be something they've already patched and realized, which fair. And secondly, it needs to include a clear guide of how to reproduce it and how the engineers can maybe not exactly how they can sort it out, but like if you have
Just repro steps.
Yeah, if you have repro steps and then also a solution
Yeah.
that you know what to fix, that's probably going to go even further. So they might chip in with even, you might have found like a grand problem, but if you include the solution, they might double it. I don't know.
Okay.
Potentially. Valve and Rockstar have similar programs as well, and probably more so now that they have their storefronts. That's probably more of a pressing issue for them as well.
Yeah, whenever you get people's card details involved, security is a big issue.
Yeah. Nintendo also has a bounty program, and its top payer is also 20 grand, but they've not yet given that away.
Okay.
Sony, on the other hand, for doing the exact same thing, they give out T-shirts that say "Secure at Sony Finder."
Oof.
I mean, if they were the only people doing that, and then there weren't these programs in place already, they'd be like, "Oh, that's cool, fair enough." They give me a little shout. But when some people was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I got 20 grand for sorting out a bug," and they were like, "Oh, well, I got a T-shirt."
Yeah. Need to maybe rethink that.
Also, interesting to note, Sony had what PSN was down for like 2 weeks when they got DDoS'd.
Seriously? Did they do
Like a couple of years
refunds or
ago, whenever it was. I think they did something. I can't remember exactly what they did, but they did remedy it in some way. Gave people back the time that they missed. Maybe give people a free month, something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's interesting to note that out of all the three, the people that got hit the hardest don't have any kind of reward program in place.
Yeah.
So-
The ones that need it.
So if you're a white hat, or if you've spotted something, let us know, and then let Microsoft know, because we don't have 20 grand to give you, but they do.
No, we'll just we'll look at it. I don't think we can even really process that information. We could just see it.
Yeah, we would just know it to be there.
Yeah, but
So-
let us know.
Yeah, if that's something you've done. Dud? What the fuck is that?
That's something
done.
If that's something you've done. Dud.
Yeah, did and done and doody diddy kong. Nugget number 2.
mo-
No, not
move-
nugget number 2. Main number 2.
Wow. We'll just move straight on from that.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Another footballer. So this came up either last time or
Okay.
the time before, and that we had a footballer removed for a game. This time now it's branching out into an eSports thing. So the
All
footballer
right.
Gareth Bale, who you won't know,
Nope.
but other people might know, plays for Real Madrid.
Okay.
He's like been there's been a weird thing going on. So like he's really good.
Okay.
Some people are going to dispute that because of football.
I trust your opinion of him.
And football and the internet,
Mm-hmm.
two environments that you don't want to get mixed. He basically plays for a very good team,
Mm-hmm.
but he just doesn't get to play. And so he's like almost going like, well, okay then, well, I've tried really hard, I've played really hard, I've won a lot of stuff, but he's just, I guess his face just doesn't fit for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And he's like gone really anti the team.
Okay.
So he's like openly rebelling.
Okay. This is kind of odd.
So he plays, he's also Welsh.
Okay.
I say also Welsh because no one here is Welsh. So that relates to that. Because we're in Cardiff, that's why that links to that. He played for a game for Wales. I think they won the game. And then he held up like a flag that said Wales Golf Madrid, because he plays for Real Madrid. And then in brackets it said below that, in that order. So like he would rather, like, he doesn't play football, he goes to play golf.
Okay.
So, you know, turn up the heat a little bit. You know, getting up, but at the same time, it's not going to play him. I get it.
Wait, how is he Welsh and playing for Real Madrid?
He's just really good.
Oh, okay. Right, it doesn't work. I think I've asked you that question before because it doesn't make sense.
Oh, I see what you're saying because he's from Wales. Yeah, he can. Yeah,
They
he's
just
playing
flew
for
him
a
out.
team. No, he's playing for a team in Spain.
Okay.
And then he played for the country Wales. You can play for your country and you can play for a team. You don't have to.
Okay. So when the World Cup comes,
you have to play for your
country,
the nation which you are from.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Carry on.
So that doesn't usually happen because like England is like one of the best leagues, if not the best league in the world. So an English player doesn't really have any incentive to go that many other places, but he did at the time.
Okay.
But yeah, he has started his own esports organization. I'm not going to say team. I'm going to say organization because that was how it was in the article that I read.
Okay.
He started 11's esports, and he's partnered with a company called 38 Entertainment Group.
Okay.
Now, when I looked up 38 Entertainment on the interweb, things that came up were weird. Well, it was initially I realized it was wrong, but it was like 38 Entertainment.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so this is these guys. It didn't have a website. It links immediately to a Facebook page. That was the top result.
Okay.
And it was like, yeah, headquarters in Malawi, were a record label, and they hadn't posted since 2017.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that isn't the right people.
Maybe we need to go back and do that research one more time.
But then I find out that I actually found the actual page of the two people that set it up. So the company exists. The company isn't real. So that was just a little tangent for my research. They're going to start by competing in the FIFA E-World Cup, which makes sense. He's a footballer. He's basically got a football team.
Okay.
I don't have any of the names of the people that are in the team yet. I don't know if they've actually released that. They may have now, but at the time of the article, like any article I found on it or any information didn't have any named people within that team.
Yeah.
But they're going to be moving into CSGO, Fortnite, and Rocket League, which I think, yeah, fair enough. They're going to be recruiting people, and fair enough for branching out. They'll probably pick up a fighting game of some description as well. They're also hosting an open event for players to try it as well. I don't know when that's going to be. Again, didn't get a date on that, but that was like an announcement from the company that said that that's what they were going to do. Which is cool. If you think you're good enough, if you're good at FIFA, good at any of those games, look them up. 38 Entertainment or 11's esports. If you want to play for Gareth Bale's team,
it's worth trying out. If you're good at one of those games, go for it.
And I've got down. I looked up like people that have invested within esports, and there's actually quite a lot of people. So Michael Jordan, who I would hope that even you, Matt, would know that man.
Yeah.
Good. He's got $26 million.
Good golly gosh.
Axiomatic Gaming, which
Team Liquid.
They own Team Liquid. I was trying to read, and like, you know when you read and then go immediately back to the top line you're already on. So I was like, he owns other celebs who invest in esports.
That's what 26 million gets you. Other celebrities who invest in other things.
Yeah, he's bought the other celebrities who have also invested in esports now. So now he owns all of them. Drake, who's a bit more high profile, we've mentioned before. He co-owns the esports organizer 100 Thieves.
That's pretty recent, isn't it? 100 Thieves.
Yeah, he's like only recently got into that, and obviously he's done a few things with Ninja and stuff like that. So he's like dabbling. He's definitely interested. Stephen Curry, who's another basketball player. He's put 37 milli into TSM, which I only really know from Smash, but
Yeah, I've heard a little bit on TSM, but nothing really.
It's an esports team. Sean P Diddy, Puff Daddy, Poo Diddley.
That's
Coombs.
P Diddy's real name.
Sean Coombs. Yeah,
I did not know that. This is an eye-opening news segment.
he's put 30.7 milli into Play VS, which is actually really cool. It helps high school kids get into esports. It gives them
that's so
esports
cool.
scholarships, which I think is
cool.
Kids game. If they can put their if they can get sports scholarships for basketball, football, whatever.
Yeah.
Why can't esports be part of that?
Yeah.
And fair play. And Shaq, Big Shaq, not
Shock.
not that guy.
Not that guy.
No, Shaquille
Okay.
O'Neal. So another basketball player. So apparently basketball and then sport people in general. It's not a coincidence. I think that 3 of those people are basketball players.
Mm.
It must have some kind of crossover. He invests in NRG, which
I know.
NRG Naira.
Energy.
Yeah.
I know energy. Do you know what? I'm gonna tail straight off.
Go on, do
on
it.
this.
Do it.
Cardiff Uni has just opened an esports development. I don't know what to call it, like a organization campus. It was literally announced today in the lecture that I had.
This is the hottest news. This couldn't be hotter.
This is only students of Cardiff Uni will know that who were in that master's lecture
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
So this is super
hot. This
take.
is literally a world first.
We're going to have an esports team, and they're taking on for, I think, Dota, and oh god, was it? Oh, I can't think of the other game, but it wasn't like Fortnite or anything. It was Dota, and then maybe Counter Strike. But yeah, esports Cardiff. Let us know if you're going to try out.
Yeah,
if you're in the
that.
Cardiff or Bristol southwest area,
You're going to get into competitive gaming, and you want to try it for Cardiff
Uni esports.
Do it. And that is all. That is my news. That's me done. So that was my news. I'm newsed out, and now we move on to the episodic question. Matt, what was the question that we had last time?
Well, it was a belter, if you ask me. It was tutorials. How do you make them? What makes them good? How do you keep them engaging? What is a good thing to do for tutorials? So what are we saying? What are we saying about tutorials, Sam?
I feel like you should go in because you've written more than me.
Okay, is that how we're doing it? Let's do it that way.
Yeah, I normally lead in, so I'm
right.
going to pass the baton to you.
Pass me the baton. So, I think a tutorial should be organic and environmental.
Agreed.
And I think that is done best traditionally, it's been done best in platformers and collectathons. So, the examples I've got, specifically, DK Tropical Freeze and any Mario game from 64 onwards.
Mario is fantastic for introducing new mechanics and slowly
it gives you them
giving that to the player.
One at a time, starting in a safe space, and then
Doesn't
builds up
overload
the
you.
danger. And in the later games, 3D World onwards, they'll even have maps or areas where you have bespoke mechanics that they will build up for you, and then they'll ditch them for the next area, and they give you a whole new set. So in Mario, you're almost always getting a tutorial, but you never know it. So I think that's like a masterclass in doing it. And I think almost all AAA games just drop the ball on this. It's just a text box.
They've gone lazy, I think. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's like or you'll have a super contrived tutorial section. Like if you're in a stealth game, you'll have tons of tall grass next to someone who never turns around, and they'll be like, press A to backstab, and then you'll slowly crouch and backstab them, and that's it. You have now been taught tutorial.
You know this now. Move on.
And you might even get a little tutorial zone where you have tons of people who never turn around, and you do all your backstabbing and shooting. And then you might get a shooting section where you've got all these chest-high walls, and it's like, press LT to lean out from cover. It's super contrived, and then you're done with that section. You almost know, if you're a gamer playing a AAA game,
you can smell a tutorial section coming on.
You know the walls. It's like, right, okay, I'm done with that. Now I'm in the open world bit. Now you're going to tell me what I can find in the open world. Now I can do my actual gaming. And I feel like it's accepted for gamers. Gamers know that a tutorial's coming. You've got to get through the first 5 hours of gameplay, and then you're like, okay, I can actually
I'm on my own now.
explore my agency and do this a little bit. So yeah, I think that tutorials link really closely to flow state as well. And if you don't know what flow state is, it's the area between frustration and boredom where you want to keep a player when you're designing a game. So you want to make sure that they're learning enough to stay away from boredom, but you're not ramping up the difficulty too much to push them into frustration or panic, or like stress. You want to keep them away from stress. You want to keep them away from boredom. And your tutorial it's your early doors. It's your first part. Here are all the mechanics. Here's what you need to learn for our black boxing, and here's where we need to go. So it's important that you set someone off on the right path to experience the rest of your flow for the game, in my opinion.
I would agree. I'm a big fan of the you are shown something in a safe environment and you're given to put it into a firearm equivalent, safety's off. So that, okay, you know this now, use this in a real world, real game situation.
Yeah.
I've only got one major example, and that is from, oddly, a game that I've only seen played. The Super Meat Boy tutorial, of all things.
Okay,
so
all right.
That is displayed to you, I believe, in pictorials.
Okay.
So so you load into a level, you have like the D-pad up, and then A. Or it's like D-pad right to move to the right.
Okay.
And then A's jump. And in the next area, they have it where you can only get round this obstacle by running and jumping. They don't tell you that.
Okay.
So they just put this in the way, and they're like, okay, they give the player a bit of credit, you know, and they say like, you know, okay, we've shown you this, kind of figure it out for yourself. And I feel like that particular game it suits more, but I feel like sometimes, especially AAA, are a bit too handholdy, and it's weird now in that some of the games I've played recently, I'm like, when that's been taken away from me, Luigi's Mansion 3, for example.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that I'm like, am I missing something? Am I being stupid? And the game isn't overtly telling me what to do. Eventually, EGAD would come up and be like, Luigi, you should probably use the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it gives you enough time to, you know, be in the environment to figure out what you got to do. But a lot of the time, I'm like, am I just being stupid here? And I think I've got too conditioned to a game spelling it out for me almost.
Holding your hand, yeah.
Yeah. Which, you know, I didn't feel like it used to be that way, but... Oh, and another thing as well.
Oh, go on.
That I really didn't like it when characters monologue. Like, say if you were stuck in a room, say like you're playing Batman Arkham.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need to find a way to catch the Riddler in the next room. Like, you would never vocalize that thought. Even if it's just like, that's an internal thing.
Yeah.
And I also didn't like it when games acknowledge their games. So they're like, you need to open your inventory with LB and press it. Like, I really didn't like that. When they reference actual controls.
The controller itself.
Yeah, when they're like saying, you know, you have to make sure your HUD's okay. It's, one tutorial I remember being really cool was Splinter Cell 1.
Okay.
In what they were like, you know, you're pretty old, Sam, so we're going to run through a test with you. And like they actually kind of made it more of a thing. And because it fit who you were, they like contextualize it. And I think a contextualized tutorial is like a really good way to go. I think that should be a bespoke level within itself. And I think the guys that you like grabbed, you can do the grab and like hold them up from behind. Because that guy worked for the agency, he was like, oh, you know, he's like, oh, I'm not so tough on the choke, and he's like, oh, sorry,
take it easy.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, when you mentioned Super Meat Boy, you made me think of Metroid. Every time you get an upgrade in Metroid, you are stuck in that room until you use it.
Yeah. That's like an axiom of
you're
Metroid
just
games.
Stuck. You're done. And you know, when you get super missiles, the door becomes a super missile door. When you get the morph ball, the very first thing you pick up, you have to morph ball to get out. It's such a small thing, but it adds so much because you're learning that mechanic. Then you're like, oh, okay, I can do this now. Like, it just gives you a little bit of confidence going forwards. Yeah. On the subject of teaching, again, Assassin's Creed 3, I heard never stopped being a tutorial. Like, every time you could jump down on someone, it would be like press LT to sneak attack for 10 hours. Like, you should know that after an hour, right? You should get it.
Also, you're on the third game.
Yeah, you don't. I don't understand.
Fourth game by that point, because you have Brotherhood as well.
Oh yeah.
So,
and did they have the PSP titles by then? Like the in-between
I
ones?
think Liberation, which was the PS Vita, I
Yeah.
think came out after 3, I think.
Okay.
It was either just before or just after 1.
I know they got
but
weird with there's some offshoots going on.
Yeah, when they're not numbered, it becomes a bit
Mm.
weird. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums up tutorials in a way. I think
Yeah.
safe environment to live environment. I'm gonna say don't do a character monologue. Don't reference the controller. Make them skippable and give the player a bit of credit. Don't hold their hand.
Yeah, I'm going to say just tie it into your flow state. Think about how your player's going to experience that and make sure that the tutorial is also an enjoyable part of the game. But what do you think? What do you think of our opinions? Let us know.
What makes a good tutorial for you? What's the best tutorial play? What's the worst tutorial you've played?
So that's our answers for this week. But Sam, what is the question for this week?
The question that we will be answering on episode 9, which you can hear by subscribing to the podcast,
Oh, yep.
is we're going to be discussing our fondest gaming memories. So what are the fondest gaming memories that we have? That's a very
get
personal subject
Yeah.
to my heart, and I hope we get a bit, we get a bit closer, Matt.
It's going to get a little bit emotional.
So that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening, as always.
Yeah, thank you for choosing to spend your time here and listening to this whole thing. And if you are listening to this on Spotify or a service of that type, I would encourage you to jump on over to YouTube and check out the channel Vox Ludio, where we are also uploading all of these. And you can subscribe, comment, generally just interact with us a little bit more, respond to our questions directly. And watch out for our Facebook group coming up in the next month or so.
Yeah, we're gonna be jacking it up, and we're gonna get all our socials going. So that'll be a bit easier ways to interact with the content that we make. We can get a bit more channels of feedback. So if there's stuff you want to see that we want to talk about or do, there's ways you can interact with us as well, and you can voice those opinions and anything you want to say to us. We're more than gladly take in, whether it's good or bad. We'll take any kind of critique or criticism. The bad stuff just as valuable as the good stuff.
Exactly.
But yeah, as Matt said, if you like what you heard, you can do all those nice things. We'll get all the socials up and running. Hopefully, we're talking about getting more content as well for Vox Studio away from just doing speech check as well. But that's
more shows to come, right?
Yeah,
this space
more
developing.
Different types of content. So hopefully you guys look forward to that as well. So again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.